Another edition of Masters Check-In. I'm here with Bobby and Kathleen Van Engen. They are in Peterborough. I am here in Oshawa, Ontario. Guys, how are you doing?
We are surviving, thriving. You know what? We're thriving. I'm thriving. I guess I'm saying we. I'm thriving.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I'm doing okay.
Already, this is going to be like, I know we put up a couple of episodes with Rich, but this is already going to be our best one yet. Already, just from that interaction. Well, let's jump right in because there's not a lot of time to chat together because we use the most of the time is kind of catching up a little bit. So a few weeks ago, or like less than just a week and a half ago, we were just about to welcome 200 guests onto our campus for our annual recruiting event, our base recruiting event called Project Days. Kathleen, you were a speaker at this event a couple of years ago. Bobby, as a youth pastor at King Street Community Church in Oshawa, the both of you guys would bring loads of students to this event. And this was the first year where you guys are going to be the event pastors and the event directors to actually run the thing. And then around March 12th, everything starts to shift and change. We get word that Rudy Gobert from the Utah Jazz has caught the COVID-19 virus, and then everything kind of goes from, oh, it's just a virus, it's hilarious, to like, level 3 craziness. Can you walk me through the process of what, for both of you, because both of you were integral pieces of Project Days, what it was like to kind of go through, okay, this is happening, okay, this might be happening, okay, it's going to happen, but we're going to shift it to this many days or this day. It's not happening, let's go on. Like, walk me through kind of what that was like for you and the feelings that went along with that.
Yeah, let's just jump into all these old feelings that we finally just got over.
I still am not over them.
I'm all about digging up the dirt, guys. Come on, you guys know me too well. Come on, guys.
Well, yeah,
it's crazy. It happened so fast. Like, I don't know, like what the dates were, but probably like the Monday or the Tuesday, right before the Sunday of the event, we were like ready to go. Everything was finished, accomplished. We had just kind of finished a couple of tasks. There was actually a couple moments where like, I think we're ready, which is like, was really satisfying because there were so many things to kind of check off the list, as you would know. And you're like, wow, there's a million different things, making sure everything's good to go. And we were feeling like super confident, super excited. We had just kind of gotten some things set up in the chapel, and all the pamphlets were done and all the rooms were set and everything like that. And so we were just finally like hit this moment. We were like, yeah, you know how you get that, like, probably like it was a week before that where you're just like, I'm so stressed. I don't even know if I want this thing to happen anymore.
I understand that.
Then you accomplish it all, and you're like, sweet, no, I'm excited about this.
We're ready,
like, we're ready to go.
And
then all of a sudden we have like, then we start seeing some other things shutting down. We're like, we just need to hold on for like 4 more days, because I know it's going to happen eventually, where we're going to have to shut some things down, or an event like this might have to shut down. Like, maybe if it just starts next Tuesday, like that would be wonderful. So started kind of going through the mental process of what's this going to look like. I already have like 700 bottles of water sitting in my office. My office is like surrounded by all of these things that are like ready to go. Hotels are booked, everything like that. And then we start having some conversations about, okay, what should we do? Because I think this thing's gonna maybe not happen. So then we get into a couple of like lead team meetings and conversations with people at the school of what should we do. Finally coming to the point, I'm trying to think what the day of the week was, probably Thursday or Friday, saying, yeah, nope, this thing's like not gonna happen, but maybe we can do it differently. And so I remember, like, I think the phone call or like the Zoom call we were on and started at like 7 p.m. And I think we finished around like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And at the end of that meeting, we had like an incredible one-day event, planned and prepped. Nobody's sleeping over. We're only doing a couple of meals, just kind of driving in. We knew we were going to kind of lose some of the people that were like 6 hours away or something like that. We're like, no, we have like a really good one-day Prodigy plan, some services, try to figure it all out. And literally the next morning we were going to roll this all out, literally the next morning at 11 a.m. And by 10 a.m., we scrapped the whole idea again. Like all of the planning that we were doing that night, we're like, shoot, no, this is not going to work. And then literally by 11 a.m. the next morning, like cancel the whole thing. And so then you're going through the process of, okay, now what do we all have to do? Canceling things, hotels, bookings, still trying to make sure that we like honor the people that had put prep work in and doing all the honorarium stuff, but trying to cancel as much things as possible and just kind of going through that whole process. So just trying to tile and then figuring out like, how do we get everyone back their money? How can we still connect with all these students, like those types of things. So it was a whirlwind, literally, of like 24 hours for real. And then coming out of that, what do we do? How can we salvage some of it? So we're trying to do some videos and things like that.
Yeah, and like more than anybody, what goes into that event and how early in advance you start planning for that. So our minds were just go, 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 Prodigy. And then all of a sudden it was like what was going to be the busiest few days of our year really then turned into like isolation and trying to figure out, like having a blank slate, like everything we had, put our efforts into, not as wasted at all. Like I think there's a lot of redemptive pieces from this, and God does what God does. So he's not dependent on us, though he uses this event in amazing ways. But yeah, we just went from like, it was all our focus to, crash.
Yeah.
What now? Yeah.
And I, and you guys have been really good at diligently telling people about this. Just so that people who are watching this video know, the video that the both of you guys did in the gym, kind of letting people know that we had to cancel Prodigy, or I would say postpone it. It wasn't canceled; it's postponed until 2021.
Yes.
Postponed, right?
Amen.
Was one of the highest viewed videos that we've ever had on our Facebook page, just so you know. So that goes to one, the news, and two, the popularity of the Van Engens, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God, I probably should have showered that day or something. I didn't really think that through at all. Whoops.
Like the whole thing of like, we just jumped into like so many videos, and so have you, and it's like videos are our least favorite thing possible.
Both of us. Ugh.
Whenever we had to do videos for church or for the school or whatever, it's like you're thinking about it. Can't sleep at night the night before. It's like we've probably in the last 2 weeks done like 30 videos and been on so many video
many
calls.
Many people can probably relate to that now.
So that's literally the life that we're on for the foreseeable future. That's the life that we're kind of in right now, of everything being like this, which is why we're doing this sort of thing, which is unnerving because the last thing I want people to see is my kitchen wall, right? But it is what it is for the time being, at least. Bob, for you when it comes to recruiting, obviously recruiting is not just Prodigy Days. It's not just an open house event that happens in the fall. It's a lot of travel. It's a lot of one-on-ones with students. It's a lot of being at camps and convention events and things like that, being at booths. It's retreats. It's booking teams and sending teams out, and you being on the road yourself. That's impossible for the time being to be able to do that sort of stuff, because that's just not the world that we live in right now. So how does recruiting for you continue with the world really shifting to all of us having to be in isolation this way?
Like, it's pretty much had to switch over like completely. Like, as you were saying, like a big part for us is travel teams, going to churches, serving, conventions, camps, like going to even like youth pastor gatherings and different things like that. And like all of those things have been like, we just every single day see another one canceled. And that's really a great way for us to be able to promote the school. So, and to do it in a way where you can see them. Like, that's why even videos, like when we're talking about Prodigy Days, like trying to get our faces on videos, because recruitment isn't just like, hey, come to the school, but it's trying to attach like a personal aspect to it. Because when someone, especially like a youth pastor, is like, hey, I want to entrust the school with one of my student leaders, they usually try to attach it to someone that they can trust at the school or different things like that, right? So that's why the personal aspect. So it's booth life so that you can have those conversations with people, but it's the face-to-face conversations with leaders, with pastors, with students, where you can really try to engage them, answer their questions, like things like that. So all of those, like canceled. So how do we still do that, right? So I'm trying to figure out, how do we connect with churches? How do we connect with pastors? How do we connect with prospective students? How do we stay connected with our students that have already applied? Like different things like that. So pretty much like wipe the slate clean of everything that we normally would have done. And then just kind of said, okay, so how can we still do these things? So there's a bunch of different things that would probably be on the agenda for the next couple of months. How can we, because one of the biggest things for recruitment is getting them on campus. That's why Prodigy is huge. That's why open house is huge. That's why personal tours are huge. That's why me being at a booth is huge, because it's just a personal aspect. But getting them on campus just increases the myself at this school because I saw myself in that student, or I saw myself in this atmosphere, or I really enjoyed talking to that professor. So trying to create some sort of virtual tour that we can kind of bring to people. Not sure exactly what that's going to look like, if that's going to be one-on-one stuff through video, or if it's just going to be them watching some things, trying to create it like an interactive thing where they can kind of walk through the school, stuff like that. And so trying to do that so they can still come onto the campus and see what the rooms look like and kind of get the feel. Doing videos like this where we're kind of talking to them, sending out letters. Like, man, I've been writing a lot of letters to all our Prodigy Day
saw that.
Again, we almost had them here, so we had all of their information. And so then I still wanted to say, like, hey, we missed you. Here's what would have happened. We had all of our students had like a prayer meeting the week before, and they were praying for individual students by name and kind of wrote down these prayer cards. So we sent them to each of them, but trying to be as personable from far away as possible. Like, that's the goal. So how can you do that? Again, with pastors, leaders, and students.